Alright guys, day 2 of the project. I'm tired. I worked to about 8 o'clock last night on it. Doesn't look a whole lot different, but I am trying to countersink these holes. The only fortunate part is I have this giant countersink. No one carries one, so. But I drilled through the hole, through hole, and I drilled down a shoulder, and then I used my countersink. But I'm getting it fairly flat. It's pretty flat. I mean, that's not bad. I'm not gonna go too crazy with, or going crazy enough with it, but once it tightens in and everything, it'll be pretty good. I mean, just itty bitty up. Well, there's another one I'm working on. Oh, side note, Jesus, man, these little boys, Diablo, this crap is like $14 something. The DeWalt ones are like 11, 12 for one. It's crazy. But yeah, so once I get, where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. This plate's coming off. I gotta work on the bottom plate. We gotta add our, I got our holes drilled and tapped, and we just gotta add our railing, which this one is going down here. We'll skip weld it in between, because when we bolt it, it'll pinch it, so we'll skip weld here in between each one. Boom, boom, boom. And that'll help out. A little spacer. Angle, I'm not 100% what I'm going to do with that yet. I'll probably run it maybe on the top part, just run 2 pieces. Help stiffen both pieces. It's going to be sort of complicated in the middle. So I got to mark this plate so I know it mirrors this plate. And I've been doing that here, which that little pen doesn't work too good, but I know top, I know that's gonna be down and back, so we should be good. These things are okay. There's some Chinesium marker things that don't work too good. There we go. Let's give us some orientation. Went and got some shoulder bolts at the hardware store, Hopper's Hardware store, if you know where that is. They actually gave me a bunch of these. I guess they don't sell, so we'll have something for a project. I went and got a shoulder bolt for the pivot, and then I stopped at the gas station and I may tap it. I'm not 100% shoulder bolt it. Kind of wanted to pivot on a bolt. Did spray paint a little bit. These things are handy. Nice little radio. Can't play it though because demonetization. And so let me slave away and get the rest of them holes wallered out so that the, can't remember what they're called now, socket head cap screws will fit down into there fairly flush. So when they push the plastic up to melt it, there won't be like, you know, bolt heads sticking up. They're gonna have to be one in the center most likely. So once we get all the burners set and whatnot, we'll figure where it's at. We'll have to put this back on, run 4 or 5, probably 4 screws in each corner, and we'll drill and tap, so we're good to go. We'll probably put a little piece right there just to keep it from sucking it flat in and concaving it. I hope this doesn't work much or at all once we get these bolted together and bracing, because at like 300 and something it was starting to kind of bow, but that was just it sitting on some cinder blocks with the rods in between them, so that, you know, that's understandable on that. It did flatten right back out for the most part. So we gotta tear this thing down after a while, slowly tearing the shed down, and then we're gonna build one out back. So like and subscribe, and we'll build a shed. Well, not a shed, a garage. We need a garage. We need, you know, 30 by 30 or something like that with a concrete floor, a decent ceiling, so we can get more done. You know, homesteads, there's a million things to do. So, all right, let me get this drilled out, and then we'll come back when I'm laying out the bracing and whatnot and the burners and see how. I'm not even sure how I'm gonna. I don't want to like attach them. I want them to kind of be able to take it out. They're just cheap burners from, I think, Amazon or Walmart or something. So, you know, they're not gonna last long. So you want to be able to unbolt that plate, throw one away, stick a new one in. Preferably, I wish they were longer. I kind of want to get one heated up and see if I can you know, heat it up and see if we can take this part and stretch it, you know, elongate it. Would be nice. From what I know, there's either ceramic inside or powdered ceramic, but I don't know which is what. So if it's the ceramic one, when you try to heat it in a minute, you're just gonna crack it. If it's the powdered one, you possibly could slowly bend it apart and bend this out. I don't know. Unless there's a way to make these, and that would be interesting. But for now, this is what I got. He possibly wants me to build him a big bandsaw, like a big chop bandsaw, sort of like a sawmill, but a chop pipe on angle. I don't know. Super nice setup for that. I would need like a burner. I'm looking at Arc Droid, which is pretty cool, but then you need air compressor and a plasma, and that adds on up to where you might as well just get a 4x4 burn table or something. So I don't know, we'll see. All right guys, I started to put some tubing on. Having a slight issue with the welder. Well, one DINS connector was ripped out. Luckily, people send me some welders to test. So I had an extra connector laying around, so I got my ground clamp hooked up. But I'm also having a problem. Like I'm just tacking or stitching. It does pretty decent, then it'll blob out. And it'll do pretty good. Pretty good, and then not so good. It's just like, kind of fluctuating. I do have a cheap one of the old Yes welders, and then it has it's got weird settings for me. I'm used to running a Delta Wave Miller, you know, $15,000 machine. This thing's you know, you gotta go through all these different settings. So I'm kind of annoying because I try to take pride in my weld, and I'm not able to do too good a weld with this thing. It's kind of, it's doing it, but it's not doing it good. Like I said, it's running pretty decent. I think my flex core wires is kind of old. We're gonna upgrade the machine eventually. Looking at the hull bolt, what is it, 220 something? So that'd be nice. Gas, you know, gas bottle, bigger spool wire. You know, 045. I'm using. I mean, 35's not bad. 45. I'm used to 45. But all right, we got that piece on there. I don't want to weld too much because I don't want to warp the plate, so I'm just putting a few tacks because I got all these bolts. This is just a spacer to keep it off. It's a spacer to keep it off, so it's not going to be that critical. So yeah, and then that's the burner. Boom. So I'm going to cut a piece. We'll put in here. I can run a piece all the way up because there's nothing going there. And the same thing here. The top, I told them I'd leave the top. I kind of want to enclose it so the heat will stay in. If I leave the top open, the heat will just kind of out through the top. So I kind of am just going to run a piece across, and then I'll leave a opening. I only have to leave a tiny opening, which will just be a piece I don't, you know, we're not going to weld it, so we can actually just technically just cut it with a angle grinder, take that piece of bar out if we want to stick a burner in. But I'd like to keep it one across the top too to keep the heat in. Just trap it in there and make it a grip. Did someone run over that? I guess I ran over that. That's why it's been a little bit. I don't know. This drop steel from work. They just, whatever piece they have, they just chuck it out in the yard and they'll use it for drop. So I bought a piece. Just not happy with that weld. I hate that. But I don't want to spend too much time messing with it. So I'm gonna cut a little piece, bigger piece, little piece. Same on the other side. I have to lay the burners out. It's roughly about 6 inches from the top to the end of the burner, the middle of the burner, the end of the burner. Kind of worked out. We're gonna have to come up with some kind of tack weld something here and here, and then maybe there and there, and 4 corners for this burner will sit onto it. But in reality, this is gonna be standing up, and then it'll be sandwiched in there where it can't fall out really. So I may just put just a piece of tubing here where it'll just sit on. Same thing there. Yeah, because to get the burners out, you're gonna unscrew all the bolts, take the top off. Well, unscrew them all but one and hinge it up and slide it out, whatnot. It's a good bit of bolts. There's a lot of tapping, a lot of reaming. I don't have a countersink. The best one, like I said, was this one. It did the job. I used to just use this to, after I tapped the hole, just hit the top where it would deburr it, sorta. But luckily I had that, and I had to do a lot of holes all by hand. So it was like I went around, drilled it, pre-drilled it, then came around, drilled it, then came around, tapped it, then came around, drilled the top plate out to the, you know, clearance hole for the bolt, and then came back and drilled a bigger hole almost all the way through, and then came back and cut. But M12 battery, it ran a long time. It lasted. It's still going. Let me turn this thing off. I don't know what duty cycle is, and it's just fans always on. It's not bad there and there. It come out pretty good. This stuff is pretty thin. It's 1/8 inch, so well in 3/16 I'm trying not to blast a hole through it, which I did. But man, that's just, I don't know, I don't like that. Like I said, that came out pretty good, so. Alright guys, a little update. I got all the little bracing around the outside edges done. I just ran a couple little tack welds. This tubing, my welder amperage seems to be, it'll do fine. You'll be going good, and it'll just spike and it'll blast through. So, I don't know. I think the welder's getting bad. I mean, like I said, it's old. This is kind of coming loose. This ripped off. Luckily, I had a whole nother one, but I don't want to upgrade welder till I get a better shop, because it's just, look at this thing, just jank in here. It's just, I don't even mess with it. I just work out here in the under the shade. But all right, so I got all the border around that'll help trap the heat in too. The burners, I should have probably went closer. I did on a few others. This is the problem. I'm like, it's a prototype, but I'm also trying to just build it once. It's got a slight bow in it, unfortunate, but you know, it's metal. I don't have a weld table that I can bolt stuff to. So as you can see, there's a bow to it, but I hope when we clamp the other plate to it, and I get the, I got these little right here, at some little angles. I thought about, I mean, these will still flex, unfortunate, because they're just, you know, it's 1/2 inch. So I don't know if running one across will really help at all in the middle. I mean, it will compartmentalize the heat here and compartmentalize the heat there. Maybe that'll help out, or maybe it'll hurt, I don't know. It compartmentalizes the heat a little more right there, and that where it'll help. See, like, you know, this is all, what would that be? Thermodynamics? Would that be science, I guess? I don't know. I am, what is it called? Jack of all trades, master of none, but better than the master of one. Get it? Because you can kind of do everything, but a master of one can only do one thing. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe pop that in there in the middle. I'm tempted, and I probably will. Slight not middle, because I need a dead center-ish. I'm probably gonna drill and tap and put me a bolt. But now that I think about it, I may put me to, shit, I don't know. I'm just getting, I got 2 of them angles. We could always make a, I don't wanna make a cross though. I mean, if we compartmentalize it more, will it allow the heat to build up more on each side, or will it leave a cold spot? Will there be a cold spot where that is? Will that heat up? It's all metal, so eventually it should heat up. Depending how long you leave it plugged in, those have no, there's no regulator, there's no nothing, there's no, it's just a connection. So in theory, you could just leave them plugged in forever until they, I guess, destroy themselves maybe. I don't know what keeps the heat from coming all the way back up in. I don't know if there's like a special termination. Don't know how those are made. I didn't watch that how it's made. But next, I'm not sure about this. I kind of want to run it down the center now. I need to get this blowed off on my little leaf blower. But yeah, I may run it down the center-ish, just a hair down, or I can drill. I'm trying to leave the face pretty clear. I don't want to put stuff because it's, you know, it's made to get hot. But I need some screws in the center because otherwise it'll bow out like a balloon, I would imagine. Again, it's kind of research, development, build, and hope it goes. And I'm trying not to cost guy that much money, but this is taking me a long time. Like, just drill tap oval the holes is, I'm glad the table's already built because that would have been even more problem. The weight of this thing though, I'm going the long ways of the table because I want the short ways. When I lift it up, the table will probably just fall over. I may have to put a brace across and it's like put a couple bags of concrete or something. I'm not 100%. 2 bags of concrete, that's like 14 bucks. It's almost 100 pounds. It's almost, or sorry, almost 200 pounds, you know, because they're 80 pounds a bag. That would be a good bit of weight to slap them down there. They'll turn hard after a while and blow. But I'm not sure yet. Or you could just drill, put anchor bolts. I don't know what he wants to do with the floor. And I'm almost tempted to, once I get it done, pull the pin, take the top off, transport it, because I have to get it onto my trailer, which I'm going to back trailer up better. I kind of, I'm terrible backing trailer up because like I back it up once a year. I guess I should just practice, but who got time for that? But yeah, welder being Chinese welder, so you got to baby it, and you know, it just, I guess pride in my work, it hurts me. But you know how long it would take to sit there and tack shut, grind. I gotta learn to just be like, okay, move on, because you know, you get some good little guys, and again, boom, voltage spike. I guess maybe duty cycle, you know, it's not meant to run a whole long time. But anyway, this is the update. I may put this in here. Again, I don't even know. It might just be adding weight because it's gonna. Well, like I said, I do need a spacer in the center to keep it from, when we tighten it, to suck it down flat, or when it heats up to bubble out. So I guess that's gonna. We'll put that in there. Going long ways, I don't think's really gonna. Again, I'm going back to heat. It's a block, so it's gonna heat up this area. This area's gonna allow it to heat up more, and this will heat up because it's metal. But it'll heat up. It'll help block some of the air circulate in here to help it keep getting sucked down. So we'll probably cut that, just stitch it in. I'm not welding the crap out of it, I'm just stitching a bit, and yeah, and then we'll figure out. I got some bolt pieces, need to cut them about the thickness of the burner and put them, you know, probably like one there and one, yeah, it's the top, and one there. We may just do one down here. I'm not sure how, like, if these are, you know, I don't know how they make these. I don't know if this is universal bent in a die or they're just hand bending them, so I don't know if they're all going to be, you know. I traced them, so you can see that one's you can see this one's pretty nice, and then you see this one's kind of like squished in and then out. So that's my main problem too. I don't know how it is. I'm tempted to cut some of this angle, set it up, and just put it where the burner will just kind of sit on it. I have no idea how to attach the burner to the dealie. So it's gonna raise up. You see, there's a whole problem, because these, when they raise up, they can't slide in because it's got a piece. And then, yeah, I gotta figure out how to attach them. It does have a plate on it, but it's just like this flimsy-ass metal thing. It's made for something that it screws into, but I don't, like, that's not gonna work for this because this is thinner. So we'll have to figure that out. I don't know. So we'll figure that part out. We may have to cut a little piece of, maybe a bigger piece of angle, drill and tap it, so then we can, when we push it in, we can screw. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Ooh. It was a 3-day week from work, but this is better than work. I can kind of do what I want, you know, listen to music. My work doesn't know music. So yeah, listen to music and just work on this. So, all right, let me get back to work. Getting there. Got the counterweight bar on, sorta. There she is. I gotta maybe trim it up a little bit, not 100%. It's got a curve to it because unfortunately, when you cut square tubing, it wants to bend, so I'm gonna have to try to bend her back a little bit. Whew. Right now I'm just trying to figure center of the table, so I need to put a piece of angle and then weld my 2-inch uprights on to where I can drill through, where I can pivot, which, now I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna have to lift it up just a tiny bit because it's not gonna be able to pivot. It's gonna hit that, it's gonna hit this. We'll have to figure that out. I may have to round that corner or something. That's gonna be a pain, but that's just so big though, man. If you wouldn't have went so high and so far, this would have been so much easier. It would have heated up so much better, but so it's gonna look like, roughly, we're gonna put a handle like down over here where you can pick this guy up. Burners are gonna go in there. Oh, it's dark. I hope you can see this. It's fairly dark. Yeah, GoPro ain't known for the light. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see on the camera if you guys can see it, but yeah, We got a slight cup to it, not a whole lot. When I bolt the other one, maybe it pull her out, hopefully. I ran to the hardware store. I got some 1/4 screws. I have a tap. I got to figure the tap and drill. Got to drill it out just a hair. We're gonna weld. Let's see, it goes in right there. We're gonna weld a piece of metal right on the end here, either on the end or right on the end, and drill and tap it 1/4, so we can slide that thing in, screw it in on, you know, both plates. Instead of trying to weld them little pegs in there like we were talking about, or it's just gonna flop around, we're just gonna screw it into there and we'll be good. At least I can see my burn marks through where I can tell where I welded, so I can come up and punch. I'll probably just space 2 out. I gotta find how many bolts I got. Unfortunate, might not have enough. Might just have enough for 1 right now, but 1 in the center where we can sandwich it together. Got the strap here. That son of a bitch is heavy, and the other plate's not even on it. So I may have to just take it there apart and then assemble it, because I do not know if I can get this on the trailer. Any of you Chinese Mini X guys with the little stand-up skid steers want to send me one? We'll use it on the channel a lot. You know, pallet forks for help, all kinds of stuff. Oh, wink, wink. Sponsorship's not easy on this stuff. I've had a few chicken coop people sent me some stuff for that, and it got lost in the mail, and then they just stopped talking to me. It's not like I'm gonna steal a $10 bag of freaking chicken worms or something, but you know, is what it is. And that's just, you know, I did a video and all for them. A couple videos. Chickens liked it. I mean, the chickens, you know, they'll eat chickens. So, you know. Whew. A couple welders, yeah, the stick welders. Stick welders is kind of, to me, outdated, and it's kind of annoying if you're trying to tack things up and do stuff. My MIG welder, I think, is on the way out, unfortunate, but was it a MIG 205 DS? I don't know what that means. It's supposed to be, I'll do TIG, MIG, stick, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it's doing stuff. But yeah, this thing is beefy. I'm afraid when it flips back, it's just gonna flip the table over. I think we're gonna have to put some weight on it, because that is huge. I really wish, you know, he's jumping ahead of himself. He is only doing 18, 20 inch pipe, and he's trying to scale up to 30 something. So he made this 38 inches, but I feel like he should have just made it less. The heating elements would have been closer. It won't take as long to get hot. It's not going to be as heavy. This son of a bitch is going to be heavy. Which the table on the bottom needs to be bigger, and I'm just not set up for that stuff because it's a lot of weight. My Mini X's, it could probably handle it, but it would be hard to rig things. Trying to do things yourself is a pain. I would have to just kind of build it on this trailer and forklift it off, and that'd be a pain too, because I can't get close enough to my outlets. It's just, like I said, I'm just not set up right now for big stuff like that. And he wants a bandsaw. He wants me to build a bandsaw. It'd be like $3,500 or something to try to build a bandsaw to cut that big of a pipe, 4-foot cut. That's bigger than like sawmills that cut wood, a lot of them portable ones. That would be a considerable amount of figuring. First you got to find a blade that big. I mean, I'm sure they got blades that big, but I'd have to get a blade that big. We'd have to find pulleys, motor, tensioners, things that have to be pretty straight. That's a lot. And I don't have this set up for that. So, all right guys, I want to try to figure this hinge system out. And now I think about it, because I'm sitting directly on the thing. When it goes to pivot, that back corner is not going to be able to go nowhere. It's going to have to be up. Well, my pivot point's going to be off the side of the table. I was trying to I have like a piece of metal. I'm just like trying to do things. But yeah, my pivot point's off the table. Like, we're not on the table pivoting. We're going to be back here with a bolt. So I feel like when it goes to lift, because the whole thing has to pivot, so I feel like that's gonna hit. I don't know yet. I'll just set a board. I'll just set something up here. Technically, and it should just go. It should just roll, but I'm actually up here. Dang it. Yeah, because I would actually have to be on the very corner. Well, I couldn't really do that. I guess I could have ran this piece all the way down to the very bottom, because now I'm up here and it has to tilt, which kicks that bottom out a bit. But yeah, It's a couple 100 pounds trying to swing around is not very fun. So that's more figuring. I got that piece of angle. We're gonna run across these two angles, and then I can weld. This table's like ½ inch thick or something. I can weld to it, and then down here weld to this angle piece to give it more strength. I don't want it too close because then it can bend on itself if I come down more. Which I use kind of thin angle for this table. It feels like 11 gauge. I feel like I can bend it by hand almost. So hopefully not. So we'll work on that. I gotta keep an eye on this ratchet strapper one. I don't need that thing from smacking my freaking head. Oh, I'm trying to figure the hinge out. I'll be back. All right, guys, just buttoning it up now. The middle plate. I got I welded just some little angle. There isn't much room. Just tacked them on there where I could get at least one bolt hole in these, just to keep them in there. A lot easier than welding a bunch of little pieces in there to hold it up. This will be universal. Got the other side in too. We're gonna have to do something with these wires. Cables are too short. We'll have to cut the plug and make it longer. But now I'm just putting all the flathead screws in. I gotta retap it. I guess got a little slag in it. They're not sitting super flat, but man, it's hard to line it up. But heck, straighten the plate up pretty good. It's not really much of a curve in it. Slight curve. And I'll probably end up just drilling, tapping one in the center, just to keep it from like opening up like a chip bag. So right now I'm just chasing all the holes with a tap, and I'm just going in and putting all the pieces in. So relatively done. I got to put the handle on. I just don't know, you know. Got the handle. It's going to be like somewhere over here. I can kind of lift it up, I guess. But someone can push down on the back. It's like a cantilever. It's not that heavy. Well, I haven't checked it lately since I put the other 500 freaking pounds on it. Okay, I'm doing it one-handed. It's not super bad. It's got a little slop in it. I had to add extra crap washers in there. So could probably change the bolt or add another washer on each side and then squeeze it a little bit. Take some of the slop out. But when you got something bigger than your table that you're trying to cantilever on a single point, she can have a little slop. So yeah, well, that's it. I'm pretty beat. It's all the little knick-knack, everything, fabricating all the little pieces and all the little things is pretty tiring. Oh, been up since like 4 this morning. Ran to the store a bunch of times. You know, I'll be happy when it's gone, as long as I don't, you know, die trying to load it up on here. Not sure how I'm gonna do that yet. I'll probably, you know, back the trailer in a little more. My trailer's pretty low to the ground. It's like, this is about as high as it is when the hook to my truck, as I have a lift on my truck, so my trailer ride's pretty low. I'm surprised I haven't ripped that angle off yet. Need to weld a piece of round tubing all the way in there so when it hits something it just kind of rolls. Probably use the ramps and something. I don't want to really drag on the legs because these things they're thin metal. Like even that piece of angle I put in is double the thickness. We'll see how stable it is. If the first video gets a decent amount of likes, I'll post this one. It's just sort of a, I don't know, I guess it's called a vlog where you just kind of video run your mouth. So I didn't really show welding and drilling, but everybody knows welding and drilling. You know, drill, break your drill bit, break your tap. Yeah, I broke my 1/4-20 tap, which they're old. They're 20 years old. Dang, it's time for some new stuff, I guess. Newer stuff. But yeah, the burners are in there. This, I'm not sure. I don't know. We could probably just run it right to the ceiling, and they could just use that as the lever. Just push down and it goes up. I don't know, we'll see. We'll have to get it there and then see. It's the problem with fabricating and things. You can't get it all in one shot most of the time. You have to adjust, and that's probably what will happen. I'm not really sticking out much on the side. This side, that one's not sticking out at all. Oh, it's I might pull it out and rechase it, and we'll see if he wants. We could knock them down with a grinder. Probably have to do the bottom middle ones. If they stick out, we'll have to knock them with the grinder because it's melting there. Well, maybe. I don't know how it's gonna get. If the plate was, you know, a lot smaller, like 30 inches, like the pipe he's doing, have a lot more chance of getting that hot. So I hope. I mean, ideally, not ideally. My brain's tired. Not ideally, but like, yeah, I guess ideally, they always stay on and are always hot. So eventually, the metal's gonna heat up, and then once you got it heated up, just leave it on and do your job that you need to do. I guess the first time you're gonna have to just time it and see how long, so then when you're getting ready to do something, you can warm it up. But all right, well, like and subscribe.